doing content again and again and again is not enough to get actual leads. And let me just be clear. What's a lead? A lead is someone who's very clear, your avatar, who has the problem that you're solving and who wants to achieve what you're doing. So someone who's raising up their hand and showing you that they're the right person for you. Now, how do we get these people to come out when we're doing content all the time? Well, you get some likes, you'll get some shares and some pats on the back saying, oh, that was so inspiring, that was so good. But what you really want once in a while, you want people to say, oh, that's me, this is what I want. So you can have conversations with them that are far better and more direct towards solving their problem. Now, how are we going to do this? And how are we going to do this in a way that is not taking a lot of time? Let me just first of all show you what it can look like. So this is what it looks like for one of our clients. Help me celebrate that in 24 hours, I got more than 11 book sales calls for the next 4 days I'm going to work next week. So what would be different in your business if you knew that you had a system that would give you, fill up your calendar with 11 sales calls in just 1 day? So now let me just share you how this was done. So there's two kinds of content that we want to do, and we want to make sure we do one of them every week, and one of them we probably want to do once every month, or if you have a smaller following, maybe once every second month. But one thing you do want to do a lot is doing Leadgens. There's a lot of great names for this. Could be that some of you are calling this freebies, but what it is it's a giveaway, something you give away that is of value. And I just want to be very clear. The reason for doing Leadgens is not just to produce stuff and give stuff away. No, that's not why we're doing. The reason we're doing this is because we want the right avatar to raise their hand and show themselves inside your audience that that's for me, that's what I want. So when we're doing Leadgens, the most important thing we're doing is how we present it, the hook we use, or the word, like the name we put on the Leadgen. I know that what happens when we start talking about doing Leadgens every week, the first thing that happens, right, is, yeah, but I don't have time. Does that mean I literally need to create a Leadgen every single week? Well, yes and no. First of all, yes, you do need to make a lot of new Leadgens, but what you do not want to do is sit around and create these big ones we did back a couple of years back, my ebook of 30 pages and stuff like that. It takes too long. And it's not really what they're looking for. So there's a huge difference 2026 compared to before. What people want is something that they will get an instant gratification, something that is just solving a micro problem that is right in front. It's not about solving the next year and the big thing, but solving something that is right in front of them and something that they can install immediately, like giving them the answer instead of them giving them the training. So you literally want to do Leadgens that is about giving them the thing instead of showing them how to. Let me give you just 2 frameworks to use to be able to do this very, very simple, very, very easily. Yes, you can take help from ChatGPT. It works absolutely fine. First of them is that we can do a kind of post that is about you're not creating anything, but you're sharing a gold mine. So the first one is about you giving away something that you're not even doing yourself. So let me give you an example of this. This is a post, I know it's in Danish, let me just translate it for you. Who wants the list of the 5 books I read that was necessary for me to help me to go from 0 to 1 million Danish kroners in my first year as a coach? Now, this post, first of all, let's just take a look at it. It got 558 comments. But what's really standing out here, well, list of 5 books. I don't need to create any of these books. It's just a list. And I know the list. It could be the 5 best podcasts I've followed. It could be 10 best quotes I love that help me every day in order to. It's not important. So podcast episodes, books, quotes, whatever you want, It could be the 5 best prompts to get something. And all of this, it's very easy for you to ask the same question inside GPT and even get a list on this, because that's not the important thing. The important thing is we want people to raise their hand, and in order for them to raise their hand, we not need to make sure it's the right people. So this thing is quite easy to come up with. Ask GPT how you can get this. Now, what's really important is I'm calling out my avatar, who's a coach. I'm also calling out what they want to achieve. And that is, it's talking into what I did. First of all, the language is I'm sharing my experience, what helped me, instead of saying what you should do. The language is telling what I did. And then I share, go from 0 to 1 million, which I know is a big goal for a lot of the coaches. So, which means, of course, they will be interested in doing that. So the 5 books that I needed in order to get from 0 to 1 million as a coach. This is the important thing. So you don't need to create it. You can let GPT, but you just need to come up with different ideas. So could you just replace this and then you have content for the next year? Absolutely. That was one of them. The second you can do is literally just make Leadgens based on questions you get from your clients. Let me give you an example of that. I got a question on a call with our clients, a normal Q&A session. You probably have Q&A sessions with your clients. And a client asked me, hey, I don't know how to start my DMs with people who haven't really commented on anything. I feel like they're not answering on the first DM I'm sending them. Okay, let me give you what to write. So I gave her the specifics on what to write. You can either do this, this, and this. And I wrote 3 like DMs chat starters for her to use. And she was like, oh, awesome. I'll go out and test each one of them and see which one works best for me. Now, what do I do with these answers? It was 3 specific things. Now I turned that into a lead gen. Hey, who wants to get my free DM starters to people who haven't engaged in your content? That will get you a ton of response immediately without feeling that you're salesy. Comment below. Really easy. And by the way, if you want these free DM starters, go down below and you just download them. They're absolutely for free. So you can just go down there and get them. So this is how easy it is. Just collect all of the questions you ever get from your clients. What was your answer? And then turn it into a hook. Who wants to get the thing? Because if your clients want the thing, I bet your audience want the same thing. If you want more of the same people that you have as your clients, give them due Leadgens on the questions they're having. So it's a micro win, something that's easy for them and will not cost them anything. That's a brilliant Leadgen. I also want to give you a little bit of a bonus here, because once in a while we can do something else. When you have people who've been following you for a while and you want them to show themselves, it is time to start working with you. They've been following you, they've seen you for a while, and they need that little push to start working. This is where we can do something else, and we can do what we call a heart hand raiser. And again, the purpose is only for you to have them raise the hand. By the way, once everyone is raising the hand, the thing you do is you go into your DMs and move them into a sales call. Now, a hard hand raiser is when we are calling our audience out and calling them out, those who are ready to get serious and act on getting to fix the problem they're having. Let me show you one of these ones here, because that is exactly what our client Nina wrote. And as she's writing here, I use that as example number 1 for my Facebook post yesterday. I'm currently looking for 5 avatars who are tired of this problem and want this result within a time frame. If that's you, comment me below and DM me the word, and you put up a keyword. And now she's celebrating that in 24 hours she got 11 sales calls, filling up 4 days with sales calls. And I know she had 50% conversion rate. That meant that one post gave her 5 clients, and each client is paying 2,000 euros. That's a 10K post. That's how easy it can actually be. Now, the structure is the same. We're just calling out our avatar, the problem they're having, what they want to have, put a time frame. That's the important part. And you see how short and easy this is? Now, we actually made a complete list with 30 of these hand-raising posts you can do, which means you will literally have one for every month for the next 2 years. Go down below and download that complete list of 30 hand-raising posts that you can use absolutely for free.